So tell me if I'm crazy. I'm searching online looking for a wind tunnel for my kids, and I come across this one for $500. That's right, 500 smackaroos. What? No way. But guess what? That's not even the coolest one. And I built this one for less than $100. My kids fight over it all the time. I've been using it for a few months. Can't get enough of it. But here's the thing no one wants to tell you. It's not about the fan that you buy. It's about where you put it. I'm going to show you the 3 mistakes I made so you don't have to waste $80 like I did. Let's build it. Okay, real talk. I needed something to keep my kids off the screens. Something hands-on. Something they could experiment with. I saw these vertical wind tunnels online. They're basically just clear tubes with fans underneath that make objects float. Super cool physics demonstration. But every version I found was either $500 or the DIY plans were missing the one detail that actually matters. So I figured it out the hard way. 3 attempts, 3 failures, but now I've got the formula. Let me show you what not to do first. Alright, mistake number 1. The first plexiglass I got was too thick. It wouldn't bend like I wanted it to, right? It was too thick. I got like 1/4 inch or something like that. It was too thick. Wouldn't bend around the way I wanted it to do. So I was doing some research online, and the only options I could really find were people getting like acetate sheets or like a shower curtain. And the problem with that is it wouldn't fit the style for this model that I was trying to make. And I didn't want to have to like tape a few sheets together and have the seam, and it just looked weird. It looked bad, right? It looked like a DIY. So anyways, I figured it out. You're going to want to get a plexiglass sheet that's 1/16 inch thick. It's going to flex just like you like it, and it's going to hold its shape without bending. And if you don't use that, here's what it's going to happen and look like. Another thing, I couldn't just buy a sheet by itself. I had to buy a whole set. It was like a 5-pack or something, which wasn't too expensive, but that was a waste of $35. So I ordered another set that was a lot thinner. And the good news is the thinner plexiglass was a little bit cheaper. So I saved myself about $5. All right. Mistake number 2, and this is the one that cost me the most amount of time, and I couldn't find anyone talking about their plans online. Everyone obsesses over CFM ratings, RPM, fan specs. You need a high-powered fan. Get the expensive one. Wrong. I tested 3 different fans. A cheap fan, a mid-range shop fan, even tried a leaf blower. And you know what mattered more than any of that? How far you put it from the tube. So my first attempt, I put the fan right up against the opening. It makes sense, right? More direct airflow? Nope. Watch what happens. It either works or it doesn't. Plus, if you have it up against there, you can't put something at the end of the tube right there by the fan. You have to put it at the other end, and it either flies out immediately or falls straight down, and it can't really come back up. And so this is where I spent a lot of time adjusting the fan speed, trying different objects, trying different fans. I needed to figure this out, right? Move the fan back. If you move it too far back, it does make it weaker, so it may not work as well. But you get enough room to put something in there. So long story short, 4 inches. That's the sweet spot. Not too far, not too close, and it's enough room for you to put an object in your hand right in the way. So the fan will take it and let it sail. 4 inches. Not 5, not 7. That's the sweet spot, at least for this standard 10-inch fan, right? And suddenly this setup is outperforming those $500 setups. Okay, so this third mistake was actually a happy accident. So I originally built this vertical, and it worked good for lightweight stuff like paper and silk cloths, but we had these little balls we wanted to do, and it just wouldn't work vertically. So I was like, okay, we're gonna make it tilt. So I did design a way to make it tilt. That's why I have all these holes, and I can put it whatever angle I want, right? But then when I put it like this, I thought, you know what? Kind of looks like a cannon, and that's where it hit me. This worked good. When I put the fan in here, it'll shoot the balls out, right? And we're going to show you here in a second. But it does kind of look like a cannon, right? So then I thought, what if we put a leaf blower on it? And let me show you. Ready? Goes much faster. Oh yeah, I didn't even describe the mistake. The mistake was the tilt feature. I was trying a few different ways and I couldn't find out what was a good way. So the original dowel I had right here is this one. And that's because I had this way and I had little pins I was trying to put in there. So that's why I have all these different holes right here, because I was changing the angle and I dropped a pin, but it just wouldn't hold it. I don't know if the wood was too soft for the weight or something, but you can see how some of the holes are bigger than the others, because when I would put the pin in and try to lock it, it would just push it down, or it wouldn't hold it where I wanted it. So that's why I have all these holes here, because this is strong enough to hold it where you want it, and it's easy enough to slide in and out, and it locks in place. It's not too terribly bad. All right, enough mistakes. Let me show you how to actually build this thing the right way. And here's everything you're going to need here. Some wood, some screws, a dowel, plexiglass, and of course your fan. This dowel was about 7/8. You could probably adjust that if you want, but it's something I had laying around, so I used it. This wood is also something I had laying around. It's like a little hobby board that was just under 3/4 of an inch. But it's thick enough so it's sturdy where it's not too thin. That's a good thing. But you can see the arm and how I had put two together just because of how I had screwed it in. I didn't want the wood splitting, so that was almost about 1.5 inches. If I had to do this all over again, I'd probably just get one big 3/4 inch plywood sheet and cut it to size. And if you like this one, I'll have a free cut list with exact measurements, and I'll tell you how to grab that at the end. First, sketch out one arm piece. Cut it with your jigsaw, then use that as a template to trace and cut an identical match. Okay, confession time. This jigsaw was a gift, and I'm just not feeling it. I rarely reach for it, so help me out here. New jigsaw to match my yellow and black collection, or say forget it and save up for a bandsaw? Let me know what you think. Now I get to bust out this little fancy doodad here, my little fush trim router bit. The little bearings here, I'm gonna put that in my router. We're gonna make them even. Dude, this thing works so good. You'll need 4 frame pieces and 2 trapezoid supports for the middle. Keep all of your angles at 30 degrees to get that nice tapered shape. Get yourself, cut your 30 on that side, then you're gonna flip your board and rotate it and do it that way. Flip, rotate. So when I was doing the angles, I wanted to make sure that these holes were in sync and everything was where I wanted it. So I'm going to put it through the dowel, clamp it where I want it, and I'm going to put it in reverse just to make a little dot. That way everything will be center, and I'll spin it through because I'm using a spade bit and not a Forstner bit. I don't want to mess this hole up on the top. All right, time to wrangle some plexiglass onto the frame. Here's a pro tip. Don't try to do both sides at one time. Just line it up, secure one side with screws. Then fold it over, get yourself a clamp it down on the opposite end that you're going to work on before you start drilling. It'll save you a ton of frustration. Then attach the frame to your bottom base plate, and voila! You just created your first kid's wind tunnel. So here's what happened after I built this. On the first weekend, my kids used it for 3 hours straight. I thought it'd be a one-day novelty, but 3 months later, they're still playing with it, pulling it out every weekend. And we get to test different objects, learning about air resistance, weight distribution, and stuff that'd be really boring reading in a textbook. And guess what? It only cost me about 85 bucks and one Saturday morning. Compare that to $500 for this thing that does the exact same thing, or worse, another 100 hours of screen time. I made a free cut list with exact measurements, material specs, and the fan placement guide. I'll drop a link in the description. Just grab it, print it, take it to the hardware store. It's going to make the whole build way easier. And look, if you build this and your kids actually put down the iPad for more than 10 minutes, let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what type of objects people are trying to float, throw through the tunnel, launch, whatever you want to call it. We've done everything from feathers to parachute man at this point. 85 bucks, 4 inches. That's the formula. Now go build one. I'll see you in the next video. Hey, do this one. Oh, that one went fast. Dude, do that one. Here. Do that one. Do the big one. Okay, get that green one. And I'm still not sure who loves it more, me or the kids. Sometimes I like to come out here and see what will launch. And not everything will launch, but it's fun when it does.